Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mothers have practically built themselves.
Hello folks, it's Mad Dog Merv. Welcome to today's show. Today we are going to take a little ride. This summer I went to a conference and had to go through the deserts of Nevada over to California. On my way, actually on my way back, on my way to a little bit, but on my way back, I ran across something really interesting and really... the eek factor was definitely there. Today we're going to talk about Mormon crickets. Now, that's not their official name, obviously, but pretty much anybody calls them Mormon crickets. They are kind of a katydid family type of bug, more related to them than they are a cricket, but they're a big nasty bug, and they come in swarms. I've run across them a couple of times out in the desert here in Utah, and today we're going to look at them just a little bit, hear a couple of stories about them, and well, get a good look of of what I saw earlier this year when I was out traveling. So stick with Mad Dog Merv as today we talk about Mormon crickets.
So I had the opportunity back in late July to head over to Sacramento, California from Salt Lake City, and I'm going to head west here across the Salt Flats, and I decided I would spend the night in, I think it was Elko, Nevada, and then I would get up in the morning and finish going from there to Sacramento. The reason for this is I sit on a council, the Healthy Green Schools and Colleges Steering Committee or Leadership Council, and this was held at Cosumnes River College in Sacramento this year. And so I was one of the being on the council, I'm of course one of the participants. Knowing that it was close enough to drive, I was really excited because I hate to fly, and just knew it'd be a fun road trip. So here I am, far left side there at the meeting. We had a couple of days of meetings and a bunch of really good educational things to help our kids in school have a healthier environment. These fine people are part of the council members, my buddy from Cal Riverside, from the Washington University, and from back in Virginia. All over the country, these folks are absolutely amazing. We have a representative on the council from University of Georgia. We have one from the University of Wisconsin at Madison, and then a couple of different school districts around the United States, including one of the largest in Las Vegas. But here we are, having a bit of a happy hour and enjoying some time together before it's time to depart, which after just a couple of short days of having a great time learning, it was time to head home. So I'm going to have to point the Mustang back towards Salt Lake City and, well, see how far we make it before we stop for the night. As it turned out, we made it to, I think it was Battle Mountain, Nevada, where we stopped for the night. Got up the next morning, and here I am just cruising on down the road. And there was a lot of construction through this area, and I started to notice these little black pebbles along the road. I thought they were just, they call them marbles on racetracks, which is just chunks of, say, rubber or chunks of asphalt. But no, as I looked, these are moving. So I decided to pull off the freeway, and here's a great example of what these critters do. When they are swarming, they are in the millions, and they can move up to 2 miles a day. They don't fly. They're a cricket, but they don't fly. Well, they're not even a cricket, really, but we'll go into that in a minute. Anyway, up to 2 miles a day. So these things can cause a lot of devastation in a very short time. And here he is. We call them Mormon crickets. That's kind of how they're known out here in the West. It's a large insect native to the western part of North America in the rangeland areas. Its official name is, I'm going to slaughter this, I'm sure, Anabras simplex. And they are more related to katydids and brush crickets than they are to actual crickets. But you can see the size of them here. These things are large. They're gross. They like to eat plants, any plant that they come across. But they're also very cannibalistic. We'll go over that in just a minute. So these have a very local connection here. This great story from back in the early days of the settlers here in the Valley of Salt Lake City. After Brigham Young had led the first band of Latter-day Saints into what is now the Salt Lake Valley, the pioneers had a pretty relatively mild winter the first year in 1847. Although late frosts in April and May destroyed some of the crops, the pioneers seemed to be well on their way to self-sufficiency. However, large swarms of insects appeared in the valley beginning in late May. These Mormon crickets, now called Mormon crickets because of this incident, are not true crickets, but instead they belong to the katydid family, as we said earlier. Having ornamental wings, they are unable to fly, but instead can travel in huge swarms. They eat all plant material in their path, but they also eat other insects that die along the way, including their own species. Yes, folks, these are big-time cannibals, and I've seen that one. I've seen that one firsthand. They are known to swarm in some areas of the Mountain West, especially in Utah, Nevada, and southern Idaho. These insects threatened the livelihood of the Mormon pioneers, and stomping on the pest did not seem to dissuade them from entering farms, and as others would advance back in. The Mormon settlers often cast this disaster in biblical terms like the 8th plague of locust. According to traditional accounts, legions of gulls appeared starting June 9th of 1848, and this was during a time when there had many fervent prayers been given by the pioneer farmers. It is said that these birds, native to the Great Salt Lake, ate mass quantities of crickets, drank some water, regurgitated, and continued eating more crickets over the next 2-week period. As the pioneers saw the gulls arrive as a miracle, and the story was recounted from the pulpit by church leaders over the years. And this event inevitably led to them becoming named as the state bird here in Utah. So, looking at what I saw, I pull off the road, and you see these, again, look like big tire marbles or some asphalt left over from the road paving project. But no, this stuff is moving. And it was kind of creepy. As I'm rolling forward, you can hear the crunch, crunch, crack, crack, crunch. But you can see them all over the road here. Some areas they were a lot thicker. This just happened to be an area where I could pull off, and there wasn't a whole lot of them, if you will, compared to some of the other areas where there was a bigger swarm. But here you can see one of them eating its dead comrade, who somebody else ran over, not me. They definitely are cannibals. They're definitely creepy in their own way, and yet in other ways, they're quite an interesting insect. But that's something that we have every year out here in the West. And here I am driving, trying to miss them. Although you could kind of see right in the middle, there's a bunch of black spots where they got crunched by other cars, and they're not moving. But it's something that I've seen in the West Desert while camping. It's something that I have seen in other parts of the West, and now here, not too far outside of Wendover, Utah. Ran into those, and here, coming back home, just go up over the hill right outside of Wendover, and you can see the salt flats ahead. You can see the little town of Wendover, and kind of dead center in the middle there, you can see the old airfield where the B-29 bombers trained for the dropping of the atomic bomb missions. Wendover's got a very, very interesting history, especially with World War II. So, okay, folks, well, hope you enjoyed this piece, and we'll see you again soon.